Hello, we are back.
Welcome to another episode of The Story of Our Lives.
So yesterday was a march for the protest against the Islamists in Dearborn, Michigan. We follow Cam Higby. He was kind of the main one that was showing everything that was going on. And he was joined with Jake Lang, BC preacher, who we also watch here in Oregon because they do a lot of filming here, and of course Nick Shirley, who just won an award for being an independent journalist. So not what we expected. We knew that it was bad. We didn't know it was that bad. Cam just wanted to get some open dialogue going with these people who are also in black bloc like Antifa, so you can't really tell who's who. For somebody that's so big on the Muslim stuff, why aren't you showing your face? Why aren't you letting us know who you are? It's very disturbing. Cam got his microphone stolen, his camera broken, his stick to his phone was also taken, and $50 cash. He tried to flag down some police officers who could care less. It's worse than Portland. At least in Portland, you could tell the police officers want to step in and help, and actually have been, and taking, your complaints and filing them with, judges and trying to get people to stop being so violent.
Yep.
Here, the police they don't care. They're for the Muslims, the Muslim community. They are embracing it, and that's disgusting to me. It's a disgrace to our country, and Pam Bondi needs to get in there and do some research on that and get rid of this police force that's not for the people, by the people. We're supposed to be the people that pay for these civil servants in our country. So if they're not going to fight for us, but we're paying for them, then there's no point in having them. So there's that whole thing. And then it just escalated from there. They were just trying to march peacefully, not even doing anything. And poor Jake got, hit in the head twice.
Yep.
And didn't fight back. And they had two officers to help them go down this street of thugs that were just being completely violent and disturbing them and trying to cover up their banner that they had because they don't want people to read it. It was ridiculous. And finally at the end of it, they just got mobbed. They were just completely surrounded.
Yep. They
had to be barricaded with the police finally taking it seriously that their lives could be in danger. It's ridiculous that was the extent that it went. And then they found out that they were going to talk to the mayor. So they stayed, waited to go in and talk to the mayor. And it was ridiculous. They just kept trying to kill the time, would not let anybody, they let 9 of the harassers talk. One of our guys got to speak. And then they dragged it on about library, about all these insignificant things. Finally, our people got to stand up and talk, and it was shameful. And we should not be treated as second-class citizens in our country anywhere. And if this shows you anything, it's what Dearborn, Michigan is trying to get our whole entire country to look like. Where we are now going to become the minority, they're going to take over, which they already have. We have 20 million people that crossed that border during Biden's administration. 20 million. Mm-hmm. Only a fraction of those people have actually left our country. We still are infested with these people. It's been an invasion and not let's assimilate. No, it's a hostile takeover of our country. And if we don't stand up to it, they're going to take over and we're going to lose everything. If you haven't realized it yet, we're going to talk about another video here after this one about what's going on in the state of Oregon. We're not rising up. We're just letting this stuff happen.
Yep.
And I have seen personally the distractions, right? Epstein files, whatever's going on with the FBI and whatnot. This is what the distraction was for. The invasion of our country, the invasion of our school system, because these Islamists are in our school system. They are in our government. They're in our law enforcement, probably first responders as well. And we're just sitting by letting it happen. We're not even realizing it. This is the sad part of our country. I know for a fact, sleeper cells have been talked about for years.
Yep.
All they have to do is be activated. That could happen at any time. And the only reason why our country has not fallen yet is because of our Second Amendment rights. Look at the UK. Look at Australia. Look at what's going on in Paris, France. They have taken over, and they are not for women or children. Let's be fair. They have women fighting for the Islamic movement, not realizing they're going to turn on you. You're nothing but cattle to them. You mean nothing to them. We've seen videos of women getting knocked out in the subway in New York City. This is what Mom Donnie's going to do to your city. They're going to let these men go and sexually hurt your women, kill people, and no repercussions for their actions. It's going to turn violent. I don't believe a civil war is happening. I believe this is going to become a holy war. A holy war of Christians versus Muslim, or any other religion that's allowed to be here in our country. You're going to have to fight, because it's convert or die. That's their whole motto. Now it's ballots or bullets. You guys, these are not nice people. These are not people that will be easy to have a conversation with, right? They're worse than Antifa. But because of what happened last night, I can't even tell which ones were Antifa and which ones were Muslim. It's scary. I heard that possibly Governor Abbott's saying the Muslim Brotherhood is a terrorist organization. Muslims, period. I feel sorry, though, for the Muslims that are peaceful, that don't want all this violence, that just want to practice what they practice. But you're going to be lumped in with the violent ones, unfortunately. I mean, that's just the way it goes. And we've also seen a lot of Muslims convert to Christianity because they see the lies of the Muslims. And they're not even allowed to speak in Dearborn. The first night Cam was there, he's followed by drones, followed by people, cars.
Yep.
He didn't feel safe even getting something to eat. It's scary. It's very, I don't even know how to explain it. I was so surprised by the lack of law over there. They arrested one of our patriots, and they couldn't even tell Cam or anyone why he was being arrested. Well, that's illegal right there. You don't even have probable cause to arrest somebody, but you're just going to arrest them because they're on the other side. I can't believe what I saw. You guys need to follow Cam. You need to follow what happened in Dearborn, Michigan yesterday. There is a governor trying to run for office over there to try and fix Michigan. I don't know if it can be, because their next target's Texas. And I heard that if Texas falls, we're done for. There's no more America. They are very organized. They are very ruthless, and they want this country, and they want to take us all out. So the only thing, like I said, saving us is the Second Amendment that we have. Now my son wants to discuss what Sharia law means, what the Muslims truly stand for, because we're finding out there are lies all over the internet about what they truly want to do. And these women, dumb women, are falling for it. You think the feminist movement went this direction? You have no idea what they'll do to you if they take control. You have no idea. You'll have no rights, and your children will have no rights.
So, the way America was built was you come over here and assimilate. Okay? You join us, you become an American. It's not you try and convert America to your standards and your belief system. That's not how this works. Okay? It's not backwards. The Americans are here because we all bring something to the table. Okay? Either it's skill sets, it's a background, or it's whatever. We all learn from each other. That's how we grew as a culture, as a nation. This is the exact opposite. Where their way is right, our way has been wrong for centuries or years, whatever, and they want us to learn from them. They come over here to try and convert you. That's the whole point. They want to convert. We don't convert. We just have you come over here, share what you know, become an American. It's that simple. Okay? You could call it conversion, sure, but you have your freedoms and your rights as an American citizen. They want that stripped from you. That's why they're trying to build compounds in Texas. They're trying to make their own thing. I mean, we had a Muslim woman trying to run for mayor of Portland over here in Oregon. And her words were she wants to make as many people in Oregon Muslim as possible. That's not how this works. There are constitutional laws in place for such a thing. You cannot force somebody into a religion. So either it's conversion or it's coercion or whatever, it's not legal. If people want to turn to Muslim and learn from them, that's up to them. That's their choice, okay? But no religion has the right over here to convert as many as possible and try and take over. That's not how religion was placed over here. You have freedom of it, but you can't rule with it. So Sharia law has always meant a variety of different things of the negative variety, such as women having no rights, children having no rights, and just a lot more things that come with that. I mean, these are people who promote torture and like torturing you for their justice system. If you reject the torture, that means you're guilty. That's their logic. Rejecting torture doesn't mean you're guilty. It's a human response. Nobody wants to be tortured. That's uncivilized. That's what they want to bring over here.
And in lots of countries, the women are assaulted in daylight.
Yeah.
In the streets. And you cannot interfere.
The biggest problem you're going to have is that they believe this is right. Google gives you a nice synopsis of what Sharia law is. And by the definitions and everything that they're giving you, it looks like a pretty good ideal. But the issue with it is that it's a lie. They've been practicing this for years, longer than Google's been around, okay? They've been doing more things than Google's telling you they've done. And this is where history is very important. If you learn about history, you'll know that American history doesn't have this problem, okay? We didn't have Muslims here. We didn't deal with Muslims. We dealt with Christianity and other religions that came over.
But we respected everyone's choice of religion. We didn't try and
Correct.
impose our belief system on anyone. You have that freedom of choice.
Yeah.
This is imposing. This is do or die.
They have threatened Americans. They have threatened America. They have threatened Canada.
They
and
want
Canadians.
us all gone. They want to be the majority. They want us to be the minority.
Yep.
And they want their foot on us, and we comply or else.
The whole reason for this is because America is so strong and it's founded on principles and values that are not from the Middle East. We are not a third world country. Okay? We're not. Never have been. They want to make us into a third world country. That's the whole goal of socialism, communism, and now Muslim. Now, the confusing thing is, you've got Islam and Muslim. And I've been told that there's two different things. Okay? One is peaceful and one is a radical group. Well, you won't be able to tell the difference.
Yeah.
You can't. Even by definition of Google, you can't tell the definition. Okay?
Because they'll say they're Islam or they'll say they're Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what are you going to say? Are you the violent one?
Right.
You can't do that because obviously, and this is the other problem, they're taking the young people, they're radicalizing them.
Yep.
So it was awful watching these young people thinking that they could bully us just peacefully trying to march.
Death threats are being thrown all the time. And there was assault, there was a whole bunch of stuff happening. Our guys didn't do anything though. Even though they had every right to, but they would be arrested by their law. So Google may tell you some different parts of Muslim and Islam where they differ, but Sharia law is for both.
And Sharia law is what they want in our children's schools.
Sharia law has also been implemented in Saudi Arabia, a few other places over there, but it wasn't implemented the way that Sharia law was meant to be. They took some of the principles, some of the things that they liked, and they implemented it that way. Ultimately, though, it never worked. So even themselves don't know how Sharia law is supposed to work in other parts of the Middle East. With Islam and Muslim, they use Sharia law as a way of subjugating people, having control. and you've watched videos. I mean, you have tons of information on this topic. There are Muslim women, or Islam women, whatever you want to call them, with their own testimonies, how they've been treated over there. They're on YouTube.
Yep.
They are everywhere.
You can see these women and children and the effects of their faces being doused in acid. That's how much these people resent women and children. They hate you. And I refuse to have hatred in our country that's supposed to be united. That's in our Constitution and in the United States of America.
They're basically the religion of hatred.
Yes, absolutely.
They are death worshippers. They are people who only want complete annihilation and control. They promote genocide. They love it. So we have problems coming our way. There have been more people speaking out. I saw a clip of a woman describing how these Muslims killed her mother because she was too old for breeding, and they used her instead. It was awful. It was completely horrible what she described. We don't have that history. Okay, I mean, we have some issues with how the government had control way back when. Okay, but we never had atrocities committed over here.
Yeah,
it's awful. You can argue all you want about slavery over here and some of the backlash we got. Here's reality. You have some African Americans claiming they were never slaves. These are grandmothers, okay? These are people who heard the stories passed down, claiming they were never slaves. So it begs the question, were they all slaves? And if that wasn't a focal point, this should be. What happened to the people that fought to end slavery? What happened to their ancestors?
Not just that, but our churches are not prepared to fight against something like this. We have soft Christians here. We don't know what it means to actually stand up for what we believe in wholeheartedly and possibly lose our life for this cause. We don't know what that's like. And I think we're so unprepared for what is coming, and we need to start preparing. I think the churches have done a humongous disservice and have no clue the atrocities that are headed our way. And I don't believe these are the only places that it's happening. Maybe the only places it's being reported. But I also want to clarify. These are independent journalists that are risking their lives just to get the truth out to us. If you notice, mainstream media, even some of our right-wingers that are in the media, are not discussing this, not talking about it, not giving the airtime to these journalists that do this for a living. They live completely on donations. So if their equipment goes down, if something gets hurt, they need us to stand up and help them with the fight. They need us also, if we're able to, join the cause. The reason why Portland is the way that it is because the Patriots stood up and said, we're going to go down there. We're going to make, our voices heard. And they were so loud you couldn't even hear Antifa over their bullhorns because they were done. We're fed up. This is a different beast. What they're fighting in Dearborn, Michigan is different.
The key reason it's different is because a lot of people moved away and they left.
Yeah.
And when you do that, like what we were thinking,
wanting to relocate.
It solves your problem, your individual problem, but not the whole problem, which is what happens to your state.
Yeah. Or your city.
Yeah.
And so in the description of this video, we're going to list all the people that we follow. Some of them are streamers. They stream multiple people that do this. So they'll have Chicago, they'll have Portland, they'll have, I don't know how Dearborn's going to manage with people wanting to come back there to film anymore. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because they were just so violent, so different from Antifa.
Over here anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're used to seeing Antifa. We watch this stuff usually at night because that's usually when things get bad here in Portland. But Antifa's a little different than the Muslims.
Yeah.
In the way that they're pretty much all talk. The Muslims, you can see that they actually believe what they're saying and that you better take their threats seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And to know that you don't have the police to help you, that's just ridiculous. I think that our government needs to take this more seriously. I saw that the Supreme Court may be looking into the dual citizenship as being a problem if you're going to run for office. Let's do it.
Yep.
We got to get these people out of our office. They're destroying our country. If you look at Dearborn, Michigan, the businesses that were there have turned to Muslims. It looks like London. I mean, you're not seeing American businesses anymore. All you're seeing is that the Muslims have taken over everything. And they don't assimilate.
No.
They will completely ostracize themselves and tell you you're not welcome in your own country.
In your own state, your own city.
Even if you're a government official, you're not welcome. And they make that very clear. And it's so disheartening. It makes you scared for your country, but also scared for your future of your country, especially when these people are indoctrinated to believe that this stuff is okay. No, it's not okay. And unfortunately, we were told, hey, don't discuss politics, don't discuss religion. It's going to separate you and divide you. And we don't have a choice anymore. These are coming to the forefront. It's not a Republican Democrat issue. This is an American issue. If you are a U.S. citizen, your rights are at stake. This is no longer about parties. This is about, are we going to save our country or let it fall like every other country?
One of the common issues that we haven't faced is being killed for being an American. Our military has, when they're in the war or whatever, but the civilians here never faced that kind of persecution. We've had stories where Christians were shot dead if they called themselves a Christian with a person present holding the gun and asking them that question. That's very small. It doesn't happen very often.
I think those were also in the schools.
Yes.
When they were taking people out. And that is a minute magnitude of what we're facing. We're facing
this could
a lot
be
more than that.
A very big catastrophic turn for America. The other parts of the world have fallen to Muslim already.
Look at Mexico. The president of Mexico let the cartels invade her home and take over that country, which is why threats of us going in and going to war for Mexico to try and help them have come up. And that's why Nigeria is being a threat. This is Muslims doing this to Christians in other countries. And they don't value life at all.
They will also make things up too. They will try and persecute you for your beliefs by asking you, how are you an example of a Christian right now? Well, when you're in my face screaming at me and trying to push your agenda and try and make me out to be the bad guy when I'm doing nothing wrong, I haven't spoken about being a Christian. I haven't even had that conversation with you. The issue is they don't want conversations.
No.
They want to just shut you down. The ones that want conversation will not listen to you either. They'll say they want to talk, but we watched
so many times
of this one person trying to have a conversation with somebody and then just not listening at all.
Finally, Cam just says, I'm not talking to you.
Yeah.
No, I have nothing to say to you. I mean, you have to just shut them down. You don't have a choice.
This is something America has not faced. We have lived very comfortable lives, very wonderful lives. Sure, we've had our struggles and our issues, but it's nothing compared to third world countries. It's nothing compared to places over there with Islamic beliefs as the foundation for everything. They're miserable.
We've had lots of refugees from other countries trying to escape the communism. I don't even know if these refugees have faced the Muslims. I don't know if they have any clue what kind of parasites these are in our communities. It's sad. I'm hoping I know Governor DeSantis of Florida has said no Sharia law. I don't know about Muslims, but I know he's said no Sharia law. We have to take a stand, and whether you like it or not, you're going to have to take a side. Because if you're not prepared, they will take you over.
This is a dark time that we have not seen. And we don't know these people either. That's one thing that upsets me. The church does not prepare you to know your enemy.
No.
Okay, they haven't. If you look back in history of the Middle East, very few churches talk about the Philistines. Very few Christians know about the Philistines. And then you're hearing about the Canaanites as well, which we're just finding out about, by the way.
Right.
And it's shocking that we did not know about the Canaanites beforehand. All these things is a history we're not familiar with because it's not taught over here. You'd have to learn about the history of Israel to understand the different religions over there, what they faced. The holy wars that we're talking about have been throughout history, just not ours.
Well, and they want us to be supposedly against the Jews, and I don't know that they're really our real enemy here.
No,
I don't see the Jews being the threat that the Muslims are. I'm sorry, I may be controversial, but
you could have hostile Jews, you could have peaceful Jews. It's the same thing with everybody. Okay, just like how some Americans are peaceful, some are not. It's no different. With Muslims, you have some that chose the peaceful route, but the ones that you see that are very loud and very aggravated, that's going to be the norm. That's their whole purpose over here. I mean,
yeah.
France is suffering. There's footage of it all over right now.
If you remember 9/11, and you remember what race we were against after 9/11, it didn't matter if you were peaceful or not. We wanted nothing to do with you.
Yep.
And that's where we're at. Peaceful or not, we want nothing to do with this attack on our nation. And that's the sad part of it. We have to get organized. We're going to have to start getting into our communities and start making plans in case something goes wrong. And start talking to your people. Start getting involved in whatever communities you can so that if and when this happens, and I assume when it happens, you're not caught off guard.
Yep.
Because I don't think that we're going to escape this one. My husband was telling me 55,000 of these Muslims are in Dearborn, Michigan. Those are astounding numbers.
Yeah.
Those are ridiculous numbers. And with more and more people leaving it, how are we supposed to try and come against it? No clue how many of these illegal aliens in our country are Muslims. No clue. We don't
also don't know how many of them were born here either.
Right.
We have to really look into the history of this, the origin story of Muslim, along with where the descendants of Palestine come from. I'm doing lots of research on that right now to figure this whole thing out. Because every place you go, it's the same story. These people have killed many, and they don't care. They like murder. They like to kill. They like to rape. They like to do a whole bunch of stuff. Okay? We have a huge problem on our hands. And as I was going through history, I realized something. Anyone can say that this no longer exists because the people that practiced this, or the people that did this, or created this, whatever, are extinct. Like they say the Roman Empire fell. Yeah, but it didn't fall the year that they said it did. It lasted 1,000 years later, or longer than they're saying it first fell. And all it takes is for somebody to decide, I like this principle, I like this or that about this culture, and then they embody it. They raise other people, and they bring other people part of it. Well, then Rome didn't die. It's an example, but that's what we have in history. That's why many religions that we thought were dead aren't actually dead. because they come back with, I discovered this. This speaks to me. I want to use this. And then you get in this whole thing of, well, that's not supposed to be existing today. Well, it does.
Well, and, you know, Satan plays the same playbook.
Mhm.
You know, he'll use, you know, the Germans. Some say the Nazis never died. I mean, he'll just use everybody that he can that's not on the right side of God, which is, you know, Satanist, whatever. But for some reason, there's something about the religion of Islam that seems to be the most threatening, the most disassociated with humanity in such a way we have not seen.
The Muslims also trying to spin this into a race thing. We don't want them here because of their race, where they come from. That's not it at all. It's what you practice. It's who you are. It's your principles, your values, your character. We don't want that here. That's what it's about. It's not about where you come from. It's about who you are as a person and what you practice.
And it's pure evil. I mean, if you look at Mamdani, you can see now he's not going to get all the things that he said he was going to do for New York City.
He legally couldn't anyway.
Yeah, he doesn't have the power to do all these things that he promised. But listen to him talk. People were pointing out his demeanor changed with his victory speech.
Yep.
These people will lie to your face, make it sound all sugary and sweet, and then you find out, oh, you're just plain evil.
That's why Google's lying.
Yep.
Because it's not talking about the torture methods that they use for their justice system. It's not talking about how they will beat and abuse women on the daily just for existing.
Yeah.
Okay. If they're in the streets, they'll just hit them because they want to. We don't have that here. We have laws to protect everybody. They don't have laws over there like that. Okay. That's a third world perspective. A lot of third world countries, when they come over here, they bring that third world mentality with them. They don't assimilate. Okay,
Not
that's
only
why
that,
you have.
Yeah. Go ahead.
That's why you have a lot of these issues that you're facing in the workforce. Okay, when you're shopping, the manners that these people don't have. It's shocking to most of us. It's a huge culture shock because they don't assimilate. They don't bring in what we do, and they don't practice what we have shown them to practice.
No, and those that went to Dearborn also had Bibles in hand, crosses in hand, and that fueled the fight.
Yeah.
They were angry. How dare you invade our space with your Christianity? And the beautiful thing was last night in the barricade, Jake started playing worship music.
Yeah.
The demeanor of everybody around that barricade changed. You should have seen it. You guys really should watch this. And then a powerful prayer because they knew they were going to go into the lion's den and fight the fight. This is what it's about. This is how we prepare for battle. We pray. We play worship music. We know that the devil hates it. You got to be prepared in that way, in that manner. This is a spiritual warfare, and you're going to be up against the enemy face to face. Again, something that churches don't teach. They don't talk about it. It's voodoo. I don't care. It has to be talked about. You guys have to start getting ready. Read your Bibles. Look up the Canaanites. Look up the history of where we are.
The Canaanites are found in the book of Judges and Joshua.
Look at that status of people and what they represented. I think we are on the brink of something that's never seen worldwide to the destruction that it's going. And you can see it everywhere. And I'm so angry that people are not talking about it. Yes, our government's doing whatever. I don't really care. They're not doing anything about this situation. I should be on top of this. I should be dealing with this. They need to come get these people out of our country. And, you know, if they're supporters, find out who's funding this. Because again, just like with Antifa, you can find out who's funding this stuff, who's funneling the money. One of our guys last night pointed out the mayor of Dearborn is a Soros guy. Surprise, surprise. They know where the funding's coming from and they need to end it now. Soros is known for destroying governments. Now look at it. He's destroying countries. He's one by one. They're falling.
And he's got a kid who's going to take up his dad's work once his dad's gone. I mean, he's
already taking it.
Is he?
Yeah, he's already mingling with Mondami. He's mingling with Hassan Piker.
It's sick.
Yeah.
So
It is.
this is where you have to really research your history, okay, and learn about what everything meant back in those times. Forget what you're reading about now. Nowadays, it doesn't apply, okay, because that's the sugarcoating. They're trying to lie to you. You got to learn about where it all started and came from.
Don't trust the internet, okay? So, Google's not your friend. It's actually lying to everybody. You need to go to trusted resources. If you want, go to the King James Version of the Bible. You want to go past that, look at the Ethiopian Bible. That's another one no one's talked about. Look at the Torah. Look at Enoch. Look at all this research of, all these different books of the Bible that are not canonized, whatever. It's still history. It's still stuff we need to know and stuff that we should be able to trust.
And that's one thing. The tactics of the enemy were never explained. Okay, you learn some things about temptation, lies, stuff like that. But you don't grasp the full concept until you actually understand the playbook of the enemy. The devil's playbook is really something that's never talked about. Churches don't discuss it. They also don't equip you either as Christians. You have the armor of God, you have so many things that you can use against it, and they refuse to teach it to you.
We have the authority of the Holy Spirit to cast out demons, to heal people, to make a difference when you're being attacked by the enemy. And here's the other thing. The enemy's playbook is small.
Yeah.
It's simple. It's not overdone.
It's really easy to see through.
Yeah.
Because it's all about deception and lies and that kind of stuff. And Christians are supposed to be, if they're learning correctly, they're supposed to be able to see through the deception.
Using discernment.
Using what the Bible's equipped them with. Okay? There's lots of things you can use. The issue you're going to face is the churches don't want you to know this stuff. The churches have rebelled against God in this manner. They refuse to equip and teach, along with following with you as you're going down your journey. Okay.
Yeah. So there's a guy I found yesterday. Again, my research is leading all sorts of places. It's called the UnSunday Show. And his channel grew in 72 hours.
Yeah, it's really cool.
From about 300 people to over 1,000. And he's overwhelmed. What his whole message is, the churches are corporations, bought and paid for. They've got a board, just like a corporation. And all they expect you to do is just come and follow. So a lot of people just do their Sunday morning routine. I'm going to go to church, do my due diligence for God, and live the way I want to for the rest of the week. Blah, 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 blah. We didn't like being treated like dollar signs. Yeah. We knew we had a lot to offer in the way of leadership, in the way of helping others. We were shunned. And the reason why his channel grew so fast is because everyone's feeling it. We don't fit in. We have no purpose. We have no spiritual gifts that we can use in our own church.
Yep.
Our idea for church, way back when we wanted to create one that wasn't existing, was to equip people and get you out there with your purpose, with your goal, with whatever you want to be for the Lord, and get you on fire and send you out in the world.
We wanted to build you up and help you understand what your goals are in life, along with how to better utilize your gifts and how God made you. See, we all heard that God made you special. But this takes a bit more beyond that. The Wired class, like I mentioned before in my other videos, the Wired class helped me figure that out, along with the spiritual gifting book that we have.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of tools you could use to figure out exactly how you were made and what you were made and designed for. When churches find this stuff out, they don't like it. In fact, we knew pastors or a pastor and his group of people.
The elders.
They found out their gifts and burnt them because they disagreed. That doesn't work. You can't just get rid of your gifts because you don't like them.
So the giftings the book that we have on our giftings, it'll show you where you're strong in your gifts. And then at the end of the book, it'll tell you, okay, these are the careers that best suit you. Lots of times people don't even know where they're supposed to be career-wise.
Yep.
We just go, okay, well, I got to make money. I'm just going to settle with this job. And, that's the extent of my life. That's not the way it's supposed to be.
No.
And unfortunately, we wanted to do something different, but it got railroaded and we ended up quitting. But
we wanted to create a church where you could be a family. And that means something.
a faith family, which is what it's supposed to be. Fellowship does not mean congregating once a week in a building.
And giving them money.
Church is the body of Christ. It's the people. Without that, you don't have a church. And here's the issue that we're having is what this creates is more isolation.
Yep.
For those of us that know we're meant for more but can't do more because we're being stopped left and right, especially when you live in a state that feels like it's against you, not for you. You're a second-class citizen because other races trump you. It's stupid.
So the way it's supposed to work in a church organization, okay, is the pastor of that church learns, helps people their lives, but then later on is supposed to travel around and teach what he's been teaching and what he's been learning. That way it helps more people connect, more people grow. Unfortunately, these pastors become pastors and go, this is it for me, this is what I am now. And they just stay there. So they stay stagnant in their own growth, and then they will help you get to a certain point and say, that's enough, that's where you're supposed to be. We want you only to stay at this point.
Level. Yeah.
You can't go any further than that. If you start to drop, though, we'll help you come back up. They want to keep you at a fixed spot, and that's not biblical at all.
It's about control. And,
absolutely.
One of the things that we wanted to do was, let people fly.
Mm-hmm.
Release your wings and fly.
We didn't care if anybody surpassed us.
No.
You're supposed to. That's the whole point. You're supposed to go as far as God wants you to.
And you lead people to the point where they can then go and do what they want to do and learn more and grow more. We were finding that we started surpassing other people that were in leadership, and then we had nowhere to go. Or we were finding people in leadership that go, well, we don't have anybody else to rise up because we're it. Oh, really? So you're a dead church, basically, because you're not going to allow anybody to take your place when you no longer have that position.
Yeah.
So you're not going to have it forever.
It would be one thing if you ran into someone that told you, I taught you all I can teach you.
Right.
And now you have to go on your own journey. We never got that. And no one ever stayed around long enough for me to tell them that as well when I was teaching people. It was just very disheartening to watch so many churches lie and mislead and bring so many talented people down to the point where they're done with churches. So for us, it was, we don't care what the churches have labeled you. We don't use labels. Okay, that's a worldview. Yeah. That's not a Christian view. Okay. So when churches label you, they're not the right one for you.
Or if you don't feel the Holy Spirit, that's another reason you can run.
Yeah.
But also, if you feel like you're not getting what you need from it, I had an app that I want to mention on the other video that we're going to do next, but somebody had mentioned, is there a church I can go to that actually talks about current events? I mean, this is how bad it's getting. You got to have a church. Like when Charlie Kirk passed away.
Oh, yeah.
Church is not willing to discuss him. What?
Yeah.
You've got the biggest news thing that ever happened to a lot of us in our lifetime, and you're not going to discuss it? You're not going to address it?
They didn't even address it after so many people filled churches because of him. They wouldn't give him the credit.
And people wanted to be comforted, and the churches just ignored them.
They felt like one of their best friends just died.
Or their hero. Yeah. Lots of kids and their hero, and no one's comforting them. No one's letting them know.
That one was really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I watched this pastor cry and discredit Charlie. Roughly the same week. So people haven't really finished mourning yet. They just started, and he's already attacking him, trying to discredit and disprove what he was. So what I did was I took the definition of martyr, and I gave him my own perspective. on what it all means. And I destroyed his argument. I destroyed him online, but I wasn't the only one. He was being torn apart by tons of people on X. These are the kind of pastors we're talking about.
Yeah.
They are a dime a dozen. I've gone toe-to-toe with pastors. I've gone face-to-face with them. They can't back up any of their claims. They argue with feelings, and once you expose them with facts, evidence, proof, and understanding, they start to twiddle their thumbs and go, well, they have nothing.
Yeah.
They're all talk. Just because someone's a pastor doesn't mean that they carry any weight anymore. It used to mean something.
Yeah.
These days it doesn't. So when somebody says that they're a pastor, you gotta find out what kind of pastor. How many people do they influence? How many people have they helped? How big is their congregation?
Because they're responsible for that flock, which bothers me with the mega churches.
Yeah.
Because how do you try and control that flock that you're responsible for when you're all over the place and you have all these people that you can't have a one-on-one conversation with?
The connection is limited. The one-on-one conversation is limited.
Yep.
Because you're a human. You don't have all the time in the world for everybody. Okay? If a pastor is that devoted, he could put time aside for everybody. Hard to do. Very hard to do. But again, that's why a lot of these megachurches, they have more than one pastor. Well, it's a good way of doing things, but if you don't always agree on the same doctrine or you don't teach the same stuff, then you could mislead your flock and people can get confused.
We've heard of knockdown, drag-out fights at some of these meetings with these pastors because they don't agree. Then you've got the wrong leadership in your church. I mean, that's the problem with leadership. A lot of these people, not just churches, but jobs alone and everything, they have the wrong leadership.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's really taken over, and it's a major problem. Because you have issues with not just authenticity, but also leadership and why do you want to teach this way?
Right.
And a common problem that we've all faced is results. Results have been very important, but there are people who don't care about results. They care about doing things their way. That's the result they care about. They don't care about how their results have impacted people negatively, okay? Or the result of them practicing something has led to failed marriages and hurt the children in the process. I knew tons of people in children leadership that shouldn't even be there, okay? Because they're bad with kids.
Yeah.
1, they didn't have the patience. 2, they don't understand how to communicate with children. And 3, kids can sense if you like them or not. Kids can sense if you're a good person or not. Kids have a good moral compass when it comes to, you don't like me.
Yeah. And again, with these churches, sometimes the volunteer effort is ridiculous. Like, that's your life. You're just volunteering day after day after day, and you're in the church all the time.
And they don't care if they burn you out either.
No. So it's frustrating to me that you're just a body to perform when they want you to, not when they need you to. And then, you get burnt out and you're like, okay, I'm done. I'm just a body to fill. I'm not contributing in any other way. So that's the other frustration that we have. We're going to go into the next video and discuss issues with our state of Oregon and some things that happened over this past week that just kind of surprised us, may surprise some of you. Our fight is not just with the Muslims, apparently. Apparently, we have a fight here in Oregon that people may not be aware of. So we're going to enlighten you on that. And hopefully at the description of this video also will list all the people that we follow. So you guys can follow them. They are on YouTube. They're on X. Some are on Rumble. Like I said, some of these people will stream everybody, so you can just watch them on their channel. And they'll, hopefully I try to follow ones that don't over talk the streamers that are trying to make a living and talk about themselves too much. There's one guy we really like. He's in Texas, pretty super chill guy, and he's gotten the permission of these streamers to use their streams because, again, it can really upset the streamers if, hey, you're going to share my videos, but you're not giving me the credit. I want the credit. So again, be aware. And again, we are under attack in so many directions that we're just trying to let you guys know that it's on so many different levels. And somewhere, somehow, you're going to have to find a way to get to the fight. We are just doing it by educating people, but I know that eventually we're probably going to have to get in the fight somewhere else too.
We're researching it. What I would encourage you to do is when you go to correct somebody, do it with love.
Yes. Please.
Don't correct somebody because they're absolutely wrong. What we don't like is when somebody tries to correct you, or one of us, with blatant disregard for our feelings or our efforts in trying to figure this out. I've known so many people attack me on X with their belief system by opening the argument with, well, I believe or I think. No. When you give me a personal opinion, you lost. You lost a lot because it's about facts. It's about evidence. It's about things you can provide to prove why you believe what you believe. If you come at me with ignorance, you lost the argument right then. I don't have to respond. Okay? If I respond, it's a courtesy. It's not because you got my attention. So, moving forward, as you do your own research and you progress and you learn and you understand more stuff now, be very careful that you don't offend somebody who's willing to learn the same thing as you are.
We need to accept other people's perspectives gently and kindly, unless they are hostile and it's impossible.
Right.
Okay.
You can disagree too. Just make sure you disagree in a way that doesn't offend them or make it difficult to build a relationship in that bond that you guys are either trying to or potentially could build. It's important that when you're discussing things that you discuss it in a manner, in a way that makes them feel understood, heard, but also maybe not doubt themselves, but think that maybe they don't know enough yet. Okay.
And we need to start joining together, unifying. If we're unified, nothing can stop us. If we're together in the fight, nothing can stop us. But if we're divided and we're bickering over little things, that's enough to stop us.
A good method is to ask questions, not just, tell them what you think, but ask them questions about what they think. Lead them to the same conclusion you've already arrived to without making it a big deal about you.
That's what Charlie was so good.
Oh, he was
just lead people into the question, into his perspective, without them really even realizing what he's doing.
He would ask them questions that made them take more steps towards him and not steps away from him. And that's what we should be doing.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to start another video, and then you guys can have, a lot of information thrown at you today, but it's really important. We are gathering more and more information every week.
Yep.
We're going to, we want to have everybody have a really great Thanksgiving next week. In spite of all this, be grateful, but be on alert, because we really don't know what is coming to our country.
The unknown is always something to be worried about, but it's important not to worry about things you can't control. That's why we have a God.
And we pray. Just heavily pray. Ask the Lord even, hey, what is my purpose? What am I here for? I believe that we are here on this earth for this time, for a reason. God has prepared us in some way or fashion for this time. And I believe there's a warrior spirit in every single one of us that's ready to go at any point in time and say, no more.
Yep.
We're not taking this anymore.
It's really important to educate yourselves and find out how much you don't know.
Yeah.
That's why Charlie was really great to listen to, because he was self-taught and he really enjoyed doing the research and educating people along the way.
And making you feel like you knew very little. I mean, the man was on a mission to learn, and we all should be. We all should be able to sit down, fight, our stance on what we believe, how we believe, why we believe.
Yep.
And be ready for that conversation, because guess what? It could happen at any point in time. And if you're not ready to defend yourself, somebody will tear you apart. And that's the thing about the Islam. They don't have an argument.
They don't.
It's pure hate.
It's emotion.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
pure. It's a belief system. It's nothing more than that. They're not grounded in facts, evidence, proof, or results like we are. If you are grounded in those things, then you have a better argument than most people. So it's important that you learn, educate yourself, and practice your demeanor, your wording. Your wording and phrasing is very important as well. You want to convey to people that you're not against them, that you are on their side. You may have disagreed with what they said, but once you explain your stance on something, it could actually change not just their position or yours, but also it could change the position of where it's going to lead. Cause and effect, and where the future may hold things, is very, very wonderful, because you could be the result that changes how that outcome could have been more harmful or detrimental, because you chose to deal with it with kindness or whatever. And that's why Charlie really was careful about his words.
Yeah.
And that's something that spoke to me, and it spoke to many other people. This would be something that he would be an expert on, like that. So.
Oh, he studied Islam.
Yeah, he did.
And the thing too is, Muhammad's dead. Jesus is the only living savior that we have.
Very true.
And he's coming back.
Very true.
And so we have to remember that they are not following a religion that understands that there's a savior that's going to come save them. We do. And so we just have to stick to our guns, unite, lock arms, and say, this is our country, you're not taking it.
We love this country way too much to just let it fall. This is the country that hasn't fallen yet. Everybody else has already fallen. We won't. We can't. So, the reason we can't let it fall, and the reason it won't fall, is because it's one nation under God.
Correct.
It's been that way. Okay? So, it's a code that we live by. If you embody that code, then you're one of us. If you don't embody that code, ask yourself why, ask yourself how, and figure it out. There are many people here, many patriots, who will teach you and educate you on what it means to be an American. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. And hopefully this will be something really big. I'm really proud of what we've accomplished and what we're going to continue to accomplish. This was my idea because we have worked so well together that it seems like a waste not to do something productive, positive, and hopefully help other people find their calling or find out more information that many people aren't speaking about. So thank you so much for watching and supporting. The next video will be very interesting to watch.
It'll be eye-opening, especially if you live in Oregon. I think it's very important that you guys learn these principles that are happening.